Picture a climber scaling a massive peak in real time. No slips, no hesitation, just a chillingly calm precision as if they were born for the ascent. Watching Alexandra Eala's journey over the last 12 months has felt exactly like that. If you happened to check the standings and saw her dip to 45th in the world from 29th in just a fortnight, I know that probably stung. The Philippines felt that blow. Everyone on social media did too. For a split second, it looked like the momentum had snapped. But stick with me for a moment because there is a very specific reason you should not worry. This slide isn't what people think. Once we dig into the actual mechanics of the sport, you will see things in a whole new light. Get ready to be hyped because the statistics, the upcoming schedule, and this kid's pure grit all suggest she's about to skyrocket. Let's revisit March 16, 2026, a pivotal moment when Eala hit a career peak at world number 29 with 1,525 points. Think about that for a beat, a 20-year-old Filipina standing among the top 30 female athletes in a global sport. She was trading blows with veterans who have spent decades on tour and legends with Grand Slam trophies. Alex was officially in the elite circle. From Manila to Mallorca, where she honed her craft at the Rafa Nadal Academy, fans knew they were witnessing history. Then, the new rankings dropped on Monday, March 30th. She fell 16 spots to number 45. I won't sugarcoat it, that hurts to see. However, we need to take a breath and look at the logic behind the data instead of just panicking at a screen. The WTA uses a rolling 52-week tally. Any points you grab at an event stay on your record for a year, then they vanish. If you had a massive run last season, you have to replicate that exact success this year just to break even. Otherwise, your ranking slips even if you are playing great. It is a cold, calculated system that ignores how well you are actually swinging the racket. And that is where Alex's story gets interesting. Think back to the 2025 Miami Open when she entered as an unheralded wildcard ranked around 140. She was a total mystery to most fans, until she put together the kind of underdog story that reminds us why we love sports. She knocked off multiple battle-hardened pros. That included past Grand Slam winners, and she didn't just survive those matches, she dominated the court. Making the semifinals of a WTA 1000 as a wildcard is the type of feat that instantly changes a player's life. That single deep run banked her 390 points and cemented her status on the global stage. Cut to Miami 2026, where she arrives as the 31st seed. This time she is a legitimate top-tier threat. After a first-round bye, she displayed massive composure, beating Siegemund in 3. She kept that fire going by taking down Magda Linette in the following round. Eventually, she hit a wall against Karolina Muchova in the round of 16, falling 6-0, 6-2. That final score looks lopsided, but Muchova was playing lights out, and losing to a top 15 powerhouse in the 4th round of a major tournament is hardly a failure. It just isn't. Making the final 16 in Miami is a stellar achievement for any 20-year-old. The issue isn't her performance, it is the math. The system swapped her 390 semifinal points from last year with only 120 for this year's run. That is a net drop of 270 points, bringing her total down to 1,255. That explains the whole situation. No nagging injuries, no loss of form, and no locker room drama. It was just the inevitable rhythm of the tour schedule doing its thing. Alex just happened to be in the toughest spot possible, trying to defend points from a once-in-a-lifetime miracle run. But this is where the narrative shifts in an incredibly exciting way, because the very system that just punished her is about to become her best friend. The hardcourt swing is over, and as the tour moves to clay, everything changes for 2 major reasons. To start, clay courts are where Alex's style of play truly shines. Forged at the Nadal Academy, her game is built on grinding out points on red dirt using heavy topspin and angles to outlast any opponent. Plus, and this should have every fan in the Philippines celebrating, she has virtually no points to defend for the next few months. Last year after Miami, Alex lost early in Madrid to the world number 1 Iga Swiatek, and then dropped her opening match in Rome. She followed that with early exits at both the French Open and Wimbledon. While that sounds rough, it is actually a massive strategic advantage for her current situation. Since she earned almost nothing during that stretch last year, the computer has nothing to take away from her over the coming months. Every single match she wins between now and July is a direct boost to her ranking. The path ahead is wide open, and she is ready to take off. To grasp why this moment is so unique, you've got to see the clay season through the eyes of the elite. They are carrying a heavy load. They are hauling around last year's huge scores, knowing a single rough week or an early loss could tank their standing. This mental weight creates a sort of invisible chokehold on their performance. Alex heads into this stretch with zero baggage. She's playing loose. She's the aggressor, not the one being chased. Plus, her current momentum heading into the dirt isn't that of someone looking for a breather. She's finally catching her stride. Her 2026 campaign kicked off in Auckland at the ASB Classic, where she made the Final Four in both singles and doubles. Her movement was fluid, her contact was pure, and she played with a level of swagger we hadn't seen just 6 months ago. Next, she hit Abu Dhabi for the 500 event and reached the Elite Eight. She followed that up in Dubai, making another deep run and taking down Jasmine Pellini, a top 10 talent. That wasn't a lucky break either. It was a calculated, dominant showing against one of the world's finest. Then she made the fourth round at Indian Wells before reaching the Sweet 16 in Miami. That's a serious streak of deep runs against top-tier competition to kick off her year. Luck has nothing to do with it. She's clearly leveled up, grinded through the offseason, and is locked in for the future. So what is on the horizon? Post-Easter, Alex travels to Linz for the Upper Austria Ladies, a 500-level event from April 6th to the 12th. Since she's a newcomer there, every single point she earns is a total bonus for her ranking. Quarters mean points, semis mean even more. Considering she's been a fixture in the Final 8 all season, the outlook is bright. After that, she hits Stuttgart, Germany for the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix starting April 13th. That field is notoriously crowded, often featuring the entire top 10, so Alex will probably have to fight through the qualifiers. But people overlook one key detail: those qualifying rounds still count for points. They also build momentum, offering extra court time to dial in her game on the dirt before the main bracket even opens. Those who scrap through the qualifiers usually enter the main draw with a head of steam, and Alex has exactly what it takes to exploit that. Then comes the Madrid Open on April 21st, one of the crown jewels of the clay season. Since she bowed out in round 2, last year she has zero baggage to protect. She enters Madrid with a blank canvas at a 1,000-level tournament where a strong showing can skyrocket her ranking in just 7 days. Just making the Elite 8 in Madrid could propel her right back to that number 29 spot. Rome follows, and once again she has practically no points on the line. Finally, there's Roland Garros, the peak of the clay season where the point potential is massive. Last year she was out in the first round. With nothing to defend, the upside is astronomical. When you crunch the numbers, the potential is mind-blowing. She's currently sitting at 1,255 points. Reclaiming the 29th rank takes about 1,500 points. She just needs to hunt down another 250 to 300 points this spring. One deep run in Linz or a quarterfinal in Madrid would bridge that gap instantly. For a talent like her, these aren't crazy goals, especially given the lack of pressure she's facing. Her style is tailor-made for the dirt, and her play has been elite level all year. That number 45 ranking doesn't define her. It's just a clerical fluke, a temporary dip while the ranking system clears out old stats before her true talent resurfaces. Look at it like a slingshot being drawn back. That backward pull and mounting tension isn't a setback. It's just the setup for an explosive launch forward. That's the exact trajectory Alexandra Eala is on right now. The same ranking math that bumped her down to 45 is about to start paying her back as she stacks up new points without any losses. And this isn't just someone getting lucky and hoping the heater lasts. At just 20, she's already toppled 3 top 10 opponents and reached a 1,000-level semifinal as a wildcard. She trains on clay with the same grit that forged the game's greatest baseline stars. Under Joan Bosch's guidance, her game has been meticulously crafted by someone who knows her potential inside and out. That lefty forehand of hers is a rare and dangerous tool that most of the tour simply can't match. Her double-handed backhand is rock solid now, and the way she glides across the clay truly puts her in a league of her own. Looking at what's coming over the next 3 months, calling the outcome optimistic doesn't quite cover it. It's just common sense. Based on the stats and her current rhythm, it's the only outcome that makes sense. After Miami, Alex showed her true colors with a very grounded and gracious exit interview. She shared her love for that event and her pride in tackling the full Sunshine Double. She wasn't crushed or rattled by the loss. She was focused on the work ahead. Level-headed and focused, she is clearly moving forward. This isn't luck. We are watching a 20-year-old hardened by massive pressure, heavy expectations, and genuine setbacks. She navigated those challenges with her self-assurance and her deep passion for the sport still completely intact. Filipino tennis supporters have offered her an incredible gift. This massive surge of cheering and devotion trails her globally. You can spot the national flags waving throughout the Miami stands. Chants ring out in Dubai. That fan base is legitimate and influential, expanding daily because Alexandra Eala gives a brand new demographic a reason to finally tune in to the women's professional tour. She is growing the sports presence in a region known for producing world-class athletes in various fields but lacking a signature moment on the pro tennis circuit until now. If seeing that 45 ranking makes you nervous, try to shift that perspective immediately. Start getting excited instead. The clay season has arrived. Her calendar is perfectly set up. Her current form is undeniable. She has almost no points to defend right now. Alex starts this run with total freedom, giving her a massive edge considering the natural skill preparation and pure drive she brings to every single match on the tour. She will be playing in Linz, Stuttgart, Madrid, Rome, and finally in Paris. At every tournament, she can accumulate points without the heavy stress most other players in her ranking range are feeling. Reclaiming that 29th spot isn't a maybe, it is just a matter of time. As you watch her sliding across the red dirt in Madrid or fighting through a tough third set at Roland Garros, think back to this specific point in her career. Recall that drop to 45 and why it felt wrong, how it seemed to clash with everything she had successfully built over the last year. That mismatch between a temporary stat and her long-term path is the true story of Alexandra Eala. The rankings will eventually reflect the talent. They always do,